Joyce. Right. Evening, guys. Welcome to the Cofi Network. And tonight I will hand over very quickly to Joyce, who's doing, I did get corrected on this one, and it is Why Intelligent Women Quietly Fail in Business. Even though I'm not a woman, I'm sure it'll help me as well. But over to you, Joyce.
Okay, thank you, Rob. Okay, so for those of you I haven't met yet, I'm Dr. Joyce, the Change Catalyst Levitt. And firstly, I would like to thank Rob for the opportunity to speak with you all this evening. Tonight, we're exploring why intelligent women quietly fail in business. And here's your hint. It's because you're not managing what's going on in your head. So briefly, we will look at some sources of mind noise you might be hearing. We'll explore some specific sources of your mind dialogue, and we will visit the unmanaged cognitive environment. Then we'll shift to your power of internal governance. It's a discipline. And heads up, I might ask more questions than I answer, and that is deliberate. It's to challenge you and hopefully make you think and reflect. After all, I am a life coach and asking challenging questions is my job. So the question isn't whether you are capable, savvy enough, or business oriented. The question is, can you manage your own mind? Because you're intelligent, it actually makes this worse. Because you're capable, you're experienced, you're skilled, and reflective. So you're also capable of building very convincing internal arguments for opting out, hesitation, and second guessing yourself. And this results in self-doubt. So what is it that makes us second guess ourselves? Hesitate, overthink, procrastinate, and doubt ourselves. We're educated, we're skilled, we're driven. Let me just give you a life experience of mine that might make this a little bit clearer. So, in my previous life as a dentist, I taught clinical dentistry to dental students. And students would perform a clinical procedure like a filling, and the instructor would check their work at specific points during the procedure. And then, because self-assessment is a crucial skill for dentists, at the end of the procedure, the student would be asked, the student would be asked, so how do you think you did? And invariably, the male dental students would go, I think I did really well there, actually. I'm quite pleased with that. I think I handled the patient really well. Patient management was excellent. Really pleased with the end result. My inclusion was fabulous. Really, really good job. And my role as the instructor would be to say, yes, absolutely, that was really well done. And so was that. I do think, however, that you could maybe improve on this a bit. And actually, I do think this other thing needs a bit more work. Rarely taken on board. So be it. When you ask the female dental students, so how do you think you did? Invariably, their response was, not great, not pleased, not happy. I really need to do more work. I really wasn't happy with the end result. I wasn't happy how I managed the patient. And I didn't think it was by any means, my best work. And then my role was to say, actually, I thought you did this really well and that really well. Yes, I would agree. You could probably do more in this department, but generally, not too bad. So this clearly displays, I think, men and women are different. Duh. And because men and women are different, we naturally approach business differently. Our innate energies are different. Now, without question, these energies exist on a spectrum. No one operates from an exclusively male or female energy. Women, though, generally tend to prioritize steady growth, are motivated by finding a purpose, and we seek collaboration and flexibility. Flexibility often because of childcare. Men generally tend to focus on rapid scaling, competition, and their overconfidence can lead to higher risk taking. So expansion is fast, but it's more volatile. And their motivation is generally financial success. So this is in no way about blaming men. This is about borrowed frameworks. This is about the gold standard of business. Most mainstream business models are built around linear growth, constant scaling, aggressive visibility, and competition-driven strategy and the hustle endurance. The definition of business success is based on these mainstream business models and revenue generation. So I'm looking at you, Elon Musk. So we're working from and measuring ourselves against a borrowed framework. If business advice is built for people motivated by dominance, scale, and competition, but you're working from and motivated by mastery, meaning, and finding a purpose, there's a significant disconnect. You're measuring yourself against a model that was never designed for you. You will not measure up. You could feel like a failure. And additionally, if this model contradicts your beliefs, your values, or your innate energy, you're going to feel the discomfort of cognitive dissonance. So here's an example of cognitive dissonance in action. Last year, I hired a business coach. They instructed me in a method of selling that felt sneaky to me. It felt misrepresentative. And no surprises, I was crap at it. I was crap at implementing their advice, and ultimately, no surprises here, I didn't gain any clients. I couldn't get it. I felt awkward doing it, and honestly, felt like a failure for not being successful with it, like I had failed them in some way. Hindsight eventually revealed I was experiencing cognitive dissonance. It felt like it was dishonest to gain a dishonest way to gain clients. The coach was very successful, and I believe lots of their clients were also successful using the method, but it didn't work for me. There is no judgment here. It's just an example of differences. And if you think about it, this also reframes burnout as maintaining contradictory beliefs and behaviors for too long. The body rebels, not because of weakness, but because of a contradiction, a misalignment. So, are you waiting for permission to speak, to charge more, to be seen? Waiting for permission is outsourcing your power. Are you asking for permission to do what you desperately want to do or who you desperately want to be? If you're waiting to feel ready, waiting to feel more confident, waiting to finish one more certification, you're waiting for permission. Waiting for permission can be fear disguised as preparation. And unfortunately, no one is coming to hand you permission. So validation is the experience of having your feelings, your thoughts, or experience acknowledged and understood. So do you outsource your validation? Do you need other people's approval, praise, agreement, or reassurance? Outsourced validation looks like needing external praise to feel confident, only making a move when others agree, and measuring your worth by likes, replies, or revenue. Outsourced validation can be very expensive. It makes you delay decisions, it causes you to second guess your intuition, and it diminishes your authority. Don't confuse validation with feedback. Feedback can be both positive and negative reinforcement, and we all need positive and negative feedback as part of our evaluation. Validation is different than that. Intuition is the ability to understand something instinctively without the need for conscious reasoning. Your intuition is always there. It just fades when you stop listening. Are you ignoring it or silencing it? Intuition is never gone, but it can be overridden. And overriding your intuition sounds like, don't be dramatic, be realistic. What will people think? And over time, this becomes self-doubt. So, Daniel Kahneman, the author of Thinking Fast and Slow, defines intuition as knowing without knowing. He talks about a system one type of thinking that's fast thinking, intuitive, effortless, emotional, unconscious thinking. And then he describes a system two type of thinking, which is deliberate, analytical, logical, and rule based. So stay with me because this does apply to you. Often, intelligent, high functioning women are rewarded for system two thinking, analytical, logical thinking. When your intuition conflicts with analytical or logical thinking, you override your intuition. Now, take a minute. Have you ever ignored your instinct in business and regretted it? Every time you override your intuition, you weaken your internal authority. And being an entrepreneur or a solopreneur requires a lot of internal authority. So I'm going to talk about three cognitive distortions or three negative thought patterns or distorted thinking. And if you have never been guilty of any of these, then I salute you because personally, I'm guilty of them on a daily basis. So, catastrophic meaning making. So, taking something and saying, for example, if this launch fails, I'm finished. If I haven't gotten X number of clients by such and such a date, I'm done. Comparisonitis. This is actually one of my absolute favorites, probably because I do it so often. Um, so this is thinking she is way ahead of me. I am so behind. She's definitely doing better than I am. And apparently, oddly enough, online networking environments amplify this type of distortion. So, third one is moral ambivalence about success. And it sounds like if I really go for this, what does it say about me? For example, and here's the gut punch. If part of you believes that visibility is vulgar, you will never market consistently. So let's get to the positive stuff. Let's start the upbeat part. This is the power in you part. Let's start managing what is going on in your head instead of it managing you. To manage what's going on in your head, you have to cultivate self-trust. And the first aspect of self-trust is self-comparison, self-compassion. To build a successful business, you have to accept that the road is bumpy. Traveling a bumpy road is made a lot more difficult when you consistently berate or punish yourself. So it's essential to be kind and respectful to yourself. Acknowledge your missteps, mistakes, fears, and keep going. Reliability is behavioral, and it's believing you can rely on yourself to figure things out and not abandon yourself when you stumble. Self-trust is built through reliability. Integrity is a weird word. It it's difficult to define, but you know 100% when you're acting without it. Integrity is all about matching. So it's about matching your words to your actions. Your values match your choices. Your public self matches your private self. Integrity is not perfection. It's noticing misalignment. It's owning it. It's repairing it. And it's adjusting your behavior. And self-trust grows exponentially when you course correct for integrity. Authenticity, or being authentic, such an overused phrase, but authenticity and self-trust are intimately linked. They're almost inseparable. And when you're authentic, you strengthen self-trust. Authenticity looks and sounds like saying what you actually think, expressing what you actually feel, and showing up as you actually are, not who you think you should be. Resilience is trusting your capacity to learn from experience, both good and bad, without getting stuck in regret and fear. Resilience is the muscle of return after disappointment, rejection, and self-doubt. And I don't believe you can build a business without ever experiencing disappointment, rejection, and self-doubt. And these are all really fine sounding concepts, but the reality often feels a lot less black and white. Using my previous example of being crap at following my business coach's guidance, I definitely felt like it was the right decision at the time, but it wasn't. And eventually I had to use resilience to pull myself out of that well of shame and self-doubt that I had dug for myself. Confidence is the byproduct of self-trust, and confidence is an integral part of any commitment to becoming stronger. It's a huge area of interest for me, mostly because I hear so much misinformation about confidence all the time. It seems to consume so many people and is rife with misconceptions. There is scientifically supported evidence that confidence can be learned. It's learned in small steps, and everyone is constantly learning confidence because your confidence is challenged every time you try something new. The most confident people you know are probably calm, quiet, and composed. Only 16% of people describe themselves as confident. And uncertainty is where lack of confidence sneaks in. Uncertainty is that state of not knowing what will happen next, not having all the information. It's impossible to build a business without uncertainty. Uncertainty leads to anxiety. Of course it does. You're in uncharted waters here, and your brain is saying danger, danger. But you can recognize the anxiety, know what it's coming from. It's coming from doing something different. And as the book says, you can feel fear and do it anyway. So let's ramp up the power shift. Here's 3 different practices you can use to manage what's going on in your life. So you know when a thought needs managed. You know when you're starting down that downward spiral of, I don't think I can do this. I'm crap at this. Everyone knows more about this than I do. I'm not experienced enough to do this. I'm too old to do this. The question you have to ask yourself is this a fact? And if it is a fact, where's the evidence for it? Or am I just opting for the easy out, the comfortable road? Not experienced enough to do this, so I'll just quit. I'm not going to do it anyway. There is a reason why Just Do It was so popular and so memorable. It resonates with your intuition because self-trust grows through execution. Self-trust grows through just doing it. Keeping you safe is the one and only job of your nervous system. Contraction feels safe. So doing the same thing over again, being predictable, doing repetitive things makes you feel safe. But all of the necessary steps of building a business cause your nervous system to issue warnings because building a business requires expansion, and expansion makes you feel vulnerable. Your nervous system is going to be in overdrive the whole time you're building your business. Know it, recognize it, and talk to it. It's okay. I know you're trying to keep me safe, but I'm good. I've got this. And give yourself permission. Allow yourself to try, allow yourself to be seen, allow yourself to change. Waiting for permission can be fear disguised as preparation. And every delay reinforces that voice in your head saying, I'm just not quite ready yet. But soon, don't outsource your validation. Self validate, acknowledge and accept your own thoughts, your needs and experiences without needing external approval. Self validation is self trust in action. In business, it looks like setting your price without seeking confirmation from others, launching before you feel fully confident, and not spiraling when you hit the inevitable bumps, potholes, roadblocks, and road closures. Intuition is a business strategy that looks forward. So before making a decision, ask, what do the numbers say? What does my body say? And if I trusted myself fully, what would I choose? All sounds simple, yeah? But again, the reality is that sometimes you don't know till you're in it, and that's okay. This lesson that you're learning was meant for you. Ask what you're being taught and move on. So, I'd like to revisit intuition just in case you've ignored your intuition for too long, or in case you need to turn up the volume on yours. So we're just going to do like a really short couple minute practice. So just put your feet flat on the floor, lengthen your spine slightly, not rigid, just awake, and gently close your eyes or just soften your gaze. And take a long, slow breath in through your nose. Hold it for the count of 2 and slowly exhale through your mouth. And once more, long, slow breath in through your nose. Hold for the count of 2 and slowly exhale through your mouth. And if you're comfortable doing so, place one hand on your heart and one on your lower belly. And quietly ask yourself, where in my life or my business am I overthinking something I already know? Don't search for the answer, just let it arise. It may come as a word, a name, a decision, a feeling, or a subtle pull. Notice your body's response. Is it expansive or contractive, heavy or light? Intuition feels clear, calm, and simple. Fear feels loud, chaotic, and urgent. And then ask yourself, if I trusted myself fully, what would I choose? Notice your immediate response, not the second one, not the logical one, the first whisper. One more deep breath and silently repeat, I trust my inner knowing. And when you're ready, return to the room. The voice that you just accessed is the one that will allow you to manage what's going on in your head. So, my takeaways: practice what you preach, because this stuff is always a work in progress. There is no end point. A perfect example of this, and the irony of it was not lost on me, is that in planning this presentation, I had a wobble. Is it too out there? Is it too psychology? Is it going to land? And a good friend of mine said, it's fine. Stop doubting yourself. So, what are your takeaways? What did you hear? What resonated with you? Yeah, Crystal, please.
I thought it was amazing. Sorry, I was listening, also multitasking as well. But the exercise that you did was pretty amazing. Because I've got the classic overthinker's hat, which poor Rob has come to know, unfortunately. But I sometimes it is just scaling it back, taking a breath, and just trusting your inner knowing. I know that because I'm a psychic medium anyway, but it just goes to show if I, you know, if someone that is supposedly psychic, we are all psychic, but anyway, that's a different story for a different time. Supposedly psychic is having trouble trusting their intuition, then it just must be hard in everyday life. So I thought that exercise of just knowing what you need to do and how you need to move forward, because my intuition is very loud and clear. It just said basically what you were told, like stop doubting yourself. The things and impulses or thoughts that you have that come into your brain on accidental, they're ideas and things to be actioned on. And that's just what I have to align to and do instead of making things 10 times as complicated. It's like I take a few steps forward and then I'm hit with blocks, but I think it's myself. So it was great. Yeah, I
Good,
loved it.
great. Thank you. And it is true. It is really just about slowing down. Sometimes it's not about constantly moving. Sometimes it's about stopping and withdrawing and not pressing so hard.
I think that's my problem.
That's easy. It's so easy because I feel like that's what we've been taught. Work harder. Just work harder. You want something, work harder. But I'm not so sure that that is the answer all the time.
I think it's the conditioning and society that have made us think like that when I know it hasn't got to be like that. Really, you could work like 3 or 4 hours be laid up on a beach. It is possible. It is possible. You can have systems and processes to do that. I'm finding my way with it, but I'm just saying,
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
working harder is not always the answer. And
No,
you
it's
get
not.
burnout, and
Yeah.
then your nervous system is all in disarray, which is not good. So I feel like my journey has come from a place of burnout, and that's why I'm trying to set up my business now. So yeah,
Did you resonate at all with the idea of burnout being about misalignment, about having to do things that didn't sit well with you?
well, I am currently. I used to work permanently for the NHS, and I was a pretty competent band six, and I was pushed or encouraged, but I felt like I was pushed into going for a band seven. I didn't because I was firm on my boundaries, but it was all a bit too much. We were really short staffed. Someone unfortunately had passed away in our team, and there was a lot of changeover, and management was shocking. It was awful. Um, so yeah, I think that there's a whole stem of things. That was just a work thing. There were things going on in my personal life as well that brought me to the idea that this isn't sustainable anymore. I can't
Mhm.
keep going like this anymore. And I realized that I was doing it. Why was I doing it? I was doing it because I thought that was the route to happiness, and everything that I thought was my happiness was just making me more ill. I was getting headaches, I was getting palpitations, I was getting chest pain that I couldn't explain, and being fitted with a heart monitor. Like, I was early 30s then. Like, I don't think anyone in the early 30s should be fitted with a heart monitor or should be having symptoms like that. So it's a big wake up call when something's not aligning, and having those not just like anxiety feelings, but really physical manifestations that are coming to you in
Mhm.
real life. And this is your body going, hello, why aren't you listening to me? This is not aligned for us anymore. And it's like it's shouting at you, but you just can't, you just not listening. And that's either our ego, us just being stubborn and going, no, but we're meant to work all these hours and, get our pension pot and this, that, and the other. And I just think, you know, I'm done now. I'm done. So, yeah,
So you're through the other side. That's good.
working on it. I'm getting there, trying to stabilize the business. But yeah, look, I'm good. But thank you for the presentation. It was amazing.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm glad I landed with you.
Are there other exercises like that you can do as well, Joyce?
What are you trying to accomplish?
Well, let's say, for instance, you've got the case of confidence in the more,
Mhm.
like, for instance, I had a friend who was a salesman, and I thought he was joking when he told me this, but he's being totally serious. He said that he was really shy and he's a
Mhm.
salesman, which doesn't go together. And he said in the morning, he would he would look in the mirror and roar at himself and say, "You're a tiger," to get himself
Mhm.
going in the morning. And
Mhm.
I thought he was joking. No, I watched him do it in the Get Up in the Morning, and he'd go, "You're a tiger, yeah, rah!" into his mirror, and then off he went to work every single day.
Brilliant.
The only way, he goes, if he didn't do that, he said, he couldn't go and do
Yeah.
his job.
Yeah, it's absolutely a way that works. It's like, it's like the Superman posture, all of those kinds of things to just to change your state into a different state. He wanted to change into a tiger. I
Yeah,
want to change into Superwoman.
I think it is, isn't it? It's a state of mind, isn't it? People,
Yeah, it is. It's actually your state of mind, and then your physical state. So, I danced before this presentation because I needed to change my state a bit. I needed to chill, relax, calm down, the whole thing. So I danced.
you see, I'm the opposite. If I have to go and do a talk, I won't learn it. I won't even think about it. I'll go in cold, literally
Mhm.
cold, won't think, go in cold, and then go for it. I just have a couple of what am I going to talk about? This, and
Mhm.
I go. If I try
Good.
to do a talk, it would be disastrous if I tried to learn it. I've tried
Yeah,
it, doesn't work for me at
yeah.
all. I need to just go in and just walk in, go, do it. Because if I was to think about it before I did it, I most probably wouldn't do the talk. If that makes sense.
Yes, it does. It makes complete sense. Yeah. We're all different. But it's recognizing your difference because if someone said to you, you cannot do it that way, Rob, you absolutely have to script this. You have to memorize it. You have to, it would be a disaster for you.
Oh no, I knew it was when
Yeah.
someone says what you should do, Rob, is make these little videos and have a script for the video and do these 1 minute videos. Do you know when you
Mhm.
watch these movies where you've got a hostage situation and the guy's sitting on the chair and he's got a script and he's going, they are treating me really well. That's what it sounded like when I tried to do a scripted to video. It just, and I just find it doesn't, I'm not Brad Pitt, it's not going to work. I
Didn't work on any level.
can't pull it off. So I thought, you know what? I'll go with what I know. I just have to. Even in it was in Hannah, we're in Le Mans, and everyone's done all these scripted talks, and they goes, you, I goes, just turn the camera on.
Yeah.
I'll think about it when the camera's on. I'll just
Yeah.
talk when the camera's on. Don't beforehand. I just won't. Yeah. No, it's brilliant. And how do and how do we find you, Joyce? How do people get to talk to you and book you?
I can put in the chat.
Yeah, put in the chat your
Some,
details.
yeah, sure.
What you do. And I think I have seen a bunch of people apologizing in WhatsApp who are trying to get home to do it, but it is recorded. So I will load it up
Good.
onto it. And I will suggest to people to go through and I'll say to them, if you want to see the exercise, I'll work out where it is and say, go here to do the exercise again so that people know as well how far through to go to find the exercise. I think a lot of people don't center themselves, do they at all during the day? They just go for it, and when they lose control, they just keep going and don't stop.
Yeah. And it's the downward spirals are so unproductive, unhelpful, and you need to stop it. You need to control it. And the only way to do it is to control what you're thinking.
Because what I learned about panicking was the house is on fire, you panic, the house burns down. House is on fire, you don't panic, you ring the fire brigade, house doesn't burn down. It's,
And
it's
that's because you're thinking.
yeah, it's simple as
Yeah.
that. You need to leave it and go, okay, it's a disaster, but I can't control that. What I can control, though, is this part of it. And that's what I do now. I don't worry about what I can't control. That's out of my control, not my problem. I'll work out what I can control and I'll focus on that. And it may mean my wife's goes, sometimes I seem like I'm detached from what I'm doing. Okay, because I can't control that bit. That's out of my control. But I can do this right now to at least try and get through. And I think that also helps if you can try and detach from the problem because the problem it's a classic problem. I've got no clients, so you spend all the time worrying you've got no clients instead of trying to find clients. So if you're worried
Hmm.
about clients, it means you're not doing your job and trying to find clients. And it then goes,
Hmm.
and then the more you worry about finding clients, the more you worry, the worse it gets. The more you worry, you never end up looking for clients. You just say to yourself, "I have no clients,"
Hmm.
and it becomes a
And and you also send that out. People can feel it, smell it, and read it off of you when you're obsessed with, I have no clients. I have no clients. Why do I have no clients? I have no clients. I need clients. I want clients. I have to get clients. That comes across so clearly to everybody that comes in contact with you. And it's so off-putting. It just
Oh,
reeks of
it's about confidence. I spoke
desperation.
to, we had a company today came to us who said they can find us investors for a lot of money. And they
Hmm.
assumed I'd have gone, oh my God, that's great. I went, before we go too far, goes, we got some due diligence questions. He goes, pardon? I goes, before we take any money from you, we've got some questions to ask. And he went, like what? And I goes, well, here's one for you. Where's the money come from? And he goes,
Hmm.
what do you mean, where's it come from? I goes, well, is it drug money? And he goes, I goes, well, it's a question, isn't it? We need to know where the money's coming from. It needs to be clean. It can't because we can't be involved
No, you
in
can't.
a some sort of like something dodgy.
It'll
And I,
destroy your business.
and what they're expecting me as a person to be thankful for them offering money. I'm going as a business owner. I need to look at it logically. Yeah, I'd love the money. But
Hmm.
I get the impression that whatever, if I get it, I do. If I don't, it's not going to kill me. Approach towards life because again, that desperation does come across, doesn't it, in the conversations? When you're turning people
Definitely.
down. it's quite they seem quite aback. And it what's that term in social media? Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I do know that if you send out all this negativity and all this, if you live in the gap and the gain, always striving for more and more, never just being grateful and thankful for where you are and the positive things about where you are, then that is what gets sent out and that's what people feel and hear. And that magnetizes people to you.
I mean, think of this, guys. When you've got to look at what you've done, you're most probably in the 0.1% of the population who actually runs and start a business. 0.1% of all the people you know, very few of them actually, people think about starting a business and people may start a business, but they don't actually start a business and actually follow it through. Okay.
Mhm,
So already you don't realize this, you're already a winner before you've even started because you've already broken that first barrier of actually getting on and starting the business.
mhm,
Okay. That was, believe it or not, that was the hard thing to do.
mhm,
Okay. Then you've ignored your family. Well, you got a perfectly good job. You don't want to be packing that and doing that. You've got all this negativity to get past, and you've beaten all that already. And then the business is running, and now it's running. You've just your fear and your how you see things change. But
mhm,
remember, the hard bit was you've got there. If you've got here, right, watch this. If you've sold one product, you're a winner. If you can
mhm,
sell one, you can sell a million.
mhm,
Okay, the first one's the hardest. Once you've sold one, and it sounds odd, okay, you can become the next big thing. It's just that belief. Remember this, guys. Can you recall the first time you actually sold your first product? Think about it.
mhm,
Oh my God, I've sold one. You're over the moon. And then it's, oh no, I've got to sell more. Not the I've sold the one. The next worry is I've got to sell another one. And I've got to sell 10 and 20 and 30. And the thing is, if you've sold one, it means someone believed in you. All you've got to do is find more people like that. And they are out there, okay? And that's the thing, with things like Joyce is giving his exercises to calm down, it's the calming down bit that makes you a winner.
mhm,
And that's the key. You're already in the top echelons of doing what you do. It's just obviously taking it to the next level, without a doubt and stuff. And yeah, I mean, like for instance, I as a person will watch funny videos in the afternoon to calm me down.
mhm.
Literally, I'll do half an hour of very funny videos that make me laugh. Then I'll go back and carry on. If I'm having a particular bad day, I'll stop working, literally, and just watch videos.
Yeah.
Can't control it. It's all going down the pan. Whatever. Okay. Time for some videos and let's do something else. And if you've got something you enjoy doing, do that instead. If you've got a hobby, go and do it. You're right. Because if you try and talk to people and you're upset or you're angry, it will come across. I mean, the other said to Chris the other day, I was having a complete meltdown with a tech guy from America. I shouldn't have said it. He went to me, have a good day. And I went, no, you have a bad day. That's how I ended the conversation. I was that mad when he said that. And I went, God, it's a bit harsh, Rob. Ah, too late now. I've done it now. I've hung up the phone. I thought, you know what? It's too late. I've already said it. I'll just carry on. But the point is life sometimes, even though I may feel like I'm very joyful, when I get really annoyed, I'm a, I'm the polar opposite of how you see me normally. There's no in between with me. I go from being really, really okay to really mad instantaneously. So I try to avoid that side. So normally I would have cut the conversation off a bit shorter there, but I wasn't able to. But yeah. So exercises, guys. Look at what we're doing. Okay. And any last bit of nugget of wisdom before we disappear off?
Um, Not really. Trust yourself. Be quiet.
There you go. Trust yourself. I want you to emblaze that onto your memories, guys.
Mhm.
Okay. When we get there. Now, next week, guys, there is no Kofi network because I'm going to be working really hard in Barcelona.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, I'm going there to work. I'm going to work. There's going to be no food, no drink. It's going to be pure work all day, non-stop. And yeah, so we've got the week off. And then the week after that, on the 12th, we've got young Mari. The 12th? Have I got March? Yes. On the 12th, yes. which will be quite good. It's going to be going over and giving us some tips on Instagram. Again, we all do social media, but no one's actually taught us it properly.
Mm.
They haven't. I've noticed that. I'm a amateur social media person. Everything I've learned myself, which most probably means I've learned it wrong, but it sort of works. It's okay. So getting tips on how to do things like that is always good. Okay. So listen, guys, everyone have a good weekend.
Thank you, Rob. Thank
I'm
you,
not
Jude.
worried, guys, and
It
work.
was
I
very
will.
nice, Joyce. It was a nice presentation.
As soon as I've
Thank
got,
you.
I'll render the video now. I'll post it onto YouTube and send the link in. Okay, because there's if you go to I didn't realize this. If you go to my YouTube channel and go to the section on business, you will find I didn't realize there's loads and loads and loads and loads of videos there on all sorts of things that can give you tips on business, and they're just sitting there ready to go for people to use. Okay, with that one. And yeah. Any particular questions before we head off?
No, just send me the link for the group, someone to go into the group. Come to the
Oh
group,
yes,
sorry.
I will. I will post that. I'll post the link to share
Yeah,
with that one.
brilliant.
Again, if you know any business owners that are struggling, or more the key, keep paying money to go on courses that aren't working,
Mm.
send them here, okay? Because I'm sure we can help them far better than them spending loads of money on a course to get them going forward. Okay, right, guys.
Yeah,
Listen,
sure.
everyone have a good weekend. Okay, have a
Bye. Safe trip
yeah.
to
Oh,
Bye-bye.
I will
Barcelona.
do. Okay, and I'll see you all in 2 weeks'
2 weeks'
time.
time. Okay, have a good
Bye.
week.
Bye-bye.
Take care,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.